Part 3. Regency to Early Victorian, 1810 to 1850. The Regency lasted from 1810 until 1820. Then Queen Victoria reigned for almost 3 generations, from 1837 until 1901. The next major changes to houses would come about 1850. Regency houses, and those from the early part of Queen Victoria's reign, shared common distinctive features. These were stucco or plaster finishes and the half basement. The population continued to grow and become more urban as Britain was becoming an industrial nation. Towns became centres of commerce and industry, which attracted more and more of the population. As usual, large houses changed first. Their new style was still classical, but they had more stories than their earlier equivalents. Half basements replaced full basements. Half basements were less work for the builders and made the house more impressive. Improved metalwork allowed balconies and balconettes to be built. The demand for urban housing stimulated architects like John Nash, developers like James Burton, and builders like Thomas Cubitt. They all produced houses for the top end of the market in a new classical form. A popular rhyme blamed the widespread use of stucco or plaster on Nash. Augustus at Rome was for building renowned, and of marble he left what a brick he had found. But is not our Nash too a very great master? He finds us all brick, and he leaves us all plaster. The half basement raised the entrance while still providing light for the basement floor. Strict classical proportions were lost, but other features could be emphasized instead. First, pilasters were added to the end and central blocks of a terrace. Then window surrounds were emphasized and stucco applied up to the cornice. At the first floor level, stuccoed balconies and elaborate tablatures appeared. Window panes became larger due to the development of plate glass. The windows on the first floor were extended down to the floor itself. These would become known as French windows. Some of the most significant developments of any period came during the Regency. These included the prototype suburban development, Nash's Regent's Park. Massive terraces and villas ringed the park, but Nash included semi-detached houses as a more modest alternative. It was a highly significant design, first of all because they would be copied by speculative builders, so much that eventually semi-detached would become the main alternative to terraced. Builders of medium-sized houses copied the large as much as they could. One way was to use rusticated stucco, at least on the ground floor. This had grooves in it to imitate stone. They were also able to fit cast-iron balconets on the first floor. A more elaborate stucco cornice replaced the brick parapet. By the early part of Queen Victoria's reign, they were also able to incorporate the half-basement, plate glass, and French windows. Like the large, after 1840, windows were made into features by adding tablatures and supporting brackets. The plaster finish extended up to the cornice. Although Charles Dickens mocked people who moved into the new houses, he did so himself. In Our Mutual Friend, the Veneerings move into a brand new house in a brand new quarter of London. The plan of the large changed as the kitchen was moved out of the main body of the house, and a new service room, the scullery, was introduced for washing up. These were innovations to which the medium could only aspire in this period. The additional floors of the large allowed more bedrooms. In a minor change of plan, the medium finally got a rear extension and a fixed dining room. The small extension was used as a closet or retiring room. The reception rooms remained on the ground floor. The upper floors accommodated bedrooms. The backs of medium houses varied between those which had space for some greenery and those which backed directly onto streams or ditches. These were fast becoming open sewers. By the 1830s, there might be a lean-to conservatory on the ground floor. During this period, the term working classes was first used. The new small houses for them were often so poorly built that another term, jerry building, became widespread. It was a period of abuse, particularly at the lower end of the market. Here the growing demand for urban housing led to problems of overcrowding. Sanitation and disease were rife in new industrial towns like Manchester and Birmingham. Conditions were made worse by cellar dwellings and courts of back-to-backs being closed on their open side, leaving only a tunnel entrance. Insanitary conditions in poorer areas threatened rich and poor alike. National regulation was required to improve conditions in towns. From 1848 onwards, health acts would have more influence than building acts. Town centres became less desirable than the healthier outskirts, or suburbs, as they became known.